You know what? I hear so much talk about playing big, and you know how it goes. Are you playing big? You need to play bigger. Or maybe you hear the dialogue of what's stopping you from playing big? And I kind of get it. It's kind of motivating. It gets you thinking about the goals. It might get you running to Pinterest and creating a new vision board. And you think, yes, I'm going to play bigger. I'm going to play all out and I'm going to go and create this massive vision of something that excites me so much. And it's so big and it's amazing. And you are so fired up. But weirdly for me, it's never really made me raise my game. Playing big, thinking about playing big has never actually created the shifts and the change for me that I have actually had in my business and my life. And, I really got thinking like it's never made me play bigger. It's never made me think bigger. And when I say think bigger with actual results. It's never driven me or motivated me to do more. And the more I looked into this whole concept of playing big and how playing big gets us to these incredible goalposts that we set, I got curious about then how do I work with my clients to get them to move forwards towards their goals? If I'm a coach with successful clients, I achieve success with them. These are facts. So, how do I do it? If this concept of playing big is not something that resonates with me, just how do I do it? And you could say that I realized there was this huge difference between the concept of playing big and playing in a totally different way. I had to go back and dissect, coaching conversations, workshops, group coaching sessions, and question myself. So, is it magic? How are you doing it if you're not telling people to play bigger and using those words? And then it hit me. It really hit me. And once I could see it, there was no going back. And what came to light for me that even though there's actually a concept of playing big that resonates with some, for me, it was nothing to do with playing big, but it was everything to do with playing small. And I want you to focus on your goals. I want you to get them. I want you to achieve them. But I realized that the one thing that always got me moving forward and quantum leaping in my own mindset was when I just stopped playing small. I now know that I am able to snap myself out of whatever limiting beliefs I have so that I can push on through forwards and around and towards them. And I'll say things to myself such as, Nikki, when are you just going to stop playing small? Or I might say, heck, you're not moving forwards, not because I'm not playing big enough, but because I'm just playing too small. So I think that you need to flip the process. Playing big is elusive. Let's get honest about the real impact of playing small versus the idea of playing big. Because again, when I went back and really looked at how do I work with my clients, I thought, where do they get tripped up? Where do they catch themselves? Where do they stop? And they're trapped in a net where they've had some success, but then we just can't move them forward. And how do I get them to do that? And I realized that when they thought about playing big, it overwhelmed them. Because we get this massive vision, and yes, it's exciting, and we create the Pinterest boards and we print the mood boards out, and we transport ourselves to the Turks and Caicos, and we think about spending weeks in Bali and working there, and we do all these things, and yeah, they are amazing, and oh my goodness, they can happen. These lifetime holidays, these dream ways of working can and do happen. But for some of us, the idea of playing big and the dream starting out, just the vision so big, can actually hold us back. Because actually admitting that you are playing small would be uncomfortable, right? And who wants to feel uncomfortable? It's so much easier for us just to say, oh, I'll play bigger. But it doesn't necessarily create the results, because if we have to get really honest with ourselves about why they're not happening, we're going to feel uncomfortable. So get it honest with yourself, getting clarity over where you are now and where you want to be. In other words, identifying where you are playing small is going to actually create the quantum shifts for you. So I wanted to share this with you because I want you to get all the success, but I'm trying to share with you some of the ways that I see how we get there. And if you're identifying you're playing small, if you're acknowledging it, if you are calling yourself out, and you are more than okay with the uncomfortableness around it, I call it sitting in the mud. And that you are no longer wanting to sit in the space that feels stuck, you are going to turn the faucet on. You are literally going to turn it on and everything is going to flow. You know, it's not just a habit. We're much more likely to think, oh, I need to play bigger. And then we get overwhelmed with everything that we would have to do in our business or lives to create that feeling, versus stopping and saying, hey, I recognize you're playing small and that's not good. Like, look at all the ways that you are just not pushing yourself forward. You are telling yourself you can't do this because you haven't got this in place, and you can't do this because you haven't got enough of this. You can't do this because you haven't got enough time. You can't do this because you haven't got enough money. You are just playing small. But it means you have to take a long, hard, sometimes really super ugly look at your life and your business. And like I say, this comes back to, do you want to just play big and just think big, or do you actually want to get really real with yourself and just stop playing small? And you know, this shows up for me every day, personally and in my business. And I remember times where I just couldn't decide on a name for my business when I career changed and I retrained and I put everything I'd already, been doing for 20 years into being a coach. And I got so stuck on the name of my business. And I look back now and I see I was playing so small. I was thinking from the place that I was at then. And I remember it was a year before I could come up with a name for my business. And it meant I couldn't progress on my website. I couldn't progress with my branding. I couldn't create this amazing new identity I really wanted to have. And then I realized I am just playing small. It wasn't about thinking bigger. I just had to stop the small-minded mentality of, I can't, I've got to get it so right, because I had the big vision. I wanted it to be perfect from the start. And perfectionism is for the poor. So the way that I got myself out of it was I just stopped playing small. I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to start where I'm at and I'm going to figure out the rest of it. I'm going to stop holding myself back. I'm going to stop playing small. And I also remember being so afraid of launching my first workshop because I wanted a room full of people. I wanted it to sell out. I wanted to have everybody clambering and paying the highest prices. And then when it came to my first online course, I didn't want to launch it with just only 6 people. I wanted to launch it with, say, 50. And so I stopped myself doing it because I was thinking almost too big in that sense, that I was just like, I want the perfection. So unless I can have that, I don't want anything. But I just then stopped playing small. I stopped thinking in a small way. I just thought, I'm just going to start with where I'm at. And you know what? If I get 6 people, I am going to be so grateful for every one of those people. And now I have a totally different mindset. I think if I've got 6 people, great. Those people are lucky. I get to serve them so deeply. But I had to shift my mindset and just stop playing small. And then you find yourself with the courses that have got 20, 30 people and workshops that sell out. And, so much so you get so busy, you have to stop private coaching because you just don't have the time. And that was the big shift for me, in not focusing on playing big, but focusing on not playing small. I used to think, gosh, I can't launch a mastermind. Nobody will sign up. My goodness, they just all signed up for their second year. You know, on each occasion, playing big has literally tripped me up because I can see the big picture so much it overwhelms me. And I stop and think, my goodness, how am I going to get there? How am I going to put everything in place? It scares me too much. And sure, I have big visions. Sure, I have mood boards. And I love that. But I have learned to not get trapped in it. I've learned to focus on the feeling. How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel when I'm serving one client or 10 or 20 or 30? Because you know what? If you can't serve one and you can't find joy in serving one client, you're not going to be brought 20 more. You have to show up and serve one. So you have to just stop playing small. Stopping playing small meant that I could move along. I could take baby steps. I could learn along the way and I wouldn't miss the learnings. So I always catch myself and think, stop it. You can't find the solution to this problem because you are playing small.